So that's the E of smarter. And Lucy, we're on to the last R.
I know, on to the last hour. And I think, Pippa, as you just rightly said in that example with organic at Sainsbury's, it's it's very hard to have a smart strategy when you're working in isolation. So when teams are working in isolation from each other, it's really hard to challenge each other on there. And actually, being cross-functionally collaborative is really important because it ensures buy-in from top to bottom and across all of the functions as well. Because whatever you decide in commercial or MPD or whichever area is going to impact every single function within your business at some point. So everyone will have a view on your strategy. And so by getting that collaborative buy-in really ensures that your strategy is really resilient to the future challenges that your business will face, and also from your competitors as well. And we've got Ian Garrett on the call, and actually, Ian, I'd love just for you to say a few words, if that's okay, because I think you've got some great examples of the experiences that you've had, where at Kerry Foods and at Pilgrims, of how your strategies have been more resilient where there's been a collaborative approach to building them.
I've got some great experiences. I'm not sure about the quality of the examples, but we'll definitely give it a go. So as a quick qualifier, I've spent the lion's share of my career to date in the food manufacturing sector, working for some pretty big global companies across supply chain, commercial and leadership roles. So I've been involved in and led a number of strategy development projects, from category strategy through to overarching business strategy. So I've seen things go well and I've seen things go less well. So for me, one of the things you're always taught through any strategy training that you'll conduct is that the quality of your data inputs, insight, trend analysis, situational analysis at the initial stage is critical. And we heard a lot about that earlier from Sue and Lucy, but equally important in my experience is the diversity of thought, experience, functional expertise, and perspective of the people that you've involved in what you're trying to create. So from my experience, one of the things I've always been mindful of is ending up in a sort of strategy echo chamber during the development phase. So everybody in violent agreement with each other, moving through the strategy development phases almost too quickly and relying a little too heavily on intuition to get you through to the next phase. So I've seen this happen when the team is too small and or the characters and breadth of thinking are too similar. For me, your strategy is obviously only as good as the quality of your inputs and outputs, and crucially, the process and people contribution involved in its design. So I was perusing LinkedIn yesterday and I read a great comment which talked about the importance of building teams with cognitive and behavioral diversity. And the link to that for me in this context is that your ability to stress test your strategy development phases from a number of different angles and perspectives with a good cross-functional input really strengthens the direction you end up taking. As an example, a recent strategy I was involved in had a core steering group and then an extended cross-functional work group set up who had a great breadth of cognitive and behavioral diversity, experiences, functional expertise, and all of them were involved in various stages of development. It was broadly a commercial strategy, but we involved everybody that it would touch, operations, everybody, because we needed that thinking, we needed that critical input. So the quality of output we received was really strong, and I stand over it as a piece of work that made a real difference to that business unit. So I think, Lucy, to probably broadly summarize, I think based on my experiences, I would say that really think about the cognitive and behavioral diversity of the team that you pull together as you go into your strategy development. Collaboration doesn't mean compliance. I think healthy friction is a really important part of the process and will help generate a more robust outcome. And also, collaboration doesn't mean one big committee-led process that doesn't have a coherent pace. I think clear ownership, and I talked earlier about the steering group, work stream group structure, and milestone timelines are really key, keeps everybody moving forward. And the conclusion for me would like a great team will stress test your strategy from different perspectives, and in turn will have a stronger buy-in due to their contribution by default. So this hopefully gives you a more well thought through plan with a greater implementation buy-in.